this is the first episode of a WoW leveling podcast type deal. I'm a little bit nervous about it, but I have a list that I have set out, which I'm going to try to follow to the best of my ability, at least for this episode. This episode is mostly going to be about leveling in WoW, maybe a little bit about me. If I ramble off my list here. So this I think is going to be quite fun. Yeah, the music here is going to cut out for a second, just because I actually have my list blocked by my recording software. Okay, let me just hang on here. Let me just do this really quick. Now I can scroll on that, and music is back. I had to... Oh, now that's in the way. Music is gone again. Wow, so good at this. Okay. Alright. Well, I've been playing WoW for quite a while now. And, it is by far one of my favorite games to just sit down and play. In, I believe... I don't know if the episode got uploaded or if I trashed it, but in Smite, I said my favorite game was, no, I trashed that game. I had said that my favorite game was Final Fantasy VII, which it is, but that game I only play once every year and a half, maybe 2 years, so it's not exactly a game that I would play consistently, whereas WoW, if I had a subscription, I was playing. This isn't going to be my normal server either. Right now I'm on the server Proudmoore. Normally I'm on Corona. I have my own little setup and I have all my characters and it's real nice. But we are going to play on the Horde side, and I actually didn't think of this early on, but I guess I can incorporate it into the little thing here. We have a bunch of different races that you can choose from, anything from the shortest of people to pandas. The Pandarans are an offshore race, and wow, that tanked the frames. But they're an offshore race that can be either Alliance or Horde. That's why you got like this gray middle zone for them. I think we should play as a Tauren. I like the idea of having a Tauren. And let's make him a shaman, shall we? I think an enhancement shaman. Now, I do have heirlooms, I do have all of that. I am not going to be using any of them. This is going to be a slow grind through questing to get to level. At the moment in Legion, it's 110. Hopefully we get there before a new expansion drops. Alright, let's customize him. We shall play as male. I normally choose female, because normally the model looks nicer, but we're going to play as a big burly shaman. Big burly cowman. Let's see here. He looks a little bit grumpy. Let's fix him up a bit. He looks grumpy anyway. There, that's not so grumpy. Horns, cut off horns. One big horn, too small. Curly. Let's go curly. This curly. I like the way it dips in. Nice ebon horns, and then there. And his name shall be Crookshak. Don't ask me why. I've just decided this man is named Crookshak. Alright, it'll start up with cinematic, and then I can read my my little list over there while the narrator talks. After it loads, anyway. There we go, Proudmoore. Let's load this up. It goes to the loading screen, and it takes 7 years. Thrall, I believe that's Vol'jin. If not, it's a Dark Spear. I think it's just a Dark Spear. Gallywix, I can never remember her name. She's the wife of one of the big druids. Prophet Velen, he's a priest. Oh, I think here we go. The music stopped.
Great tragedy has rocked the Tauren tribes and shaken their once stalwart devotion to the Horde. A disagreement between the new Orc war chief, Garrosh Hellscream, and the beloved Tauren chieftain, Cairn Bloodhoof, led to a duel that ended in Cairn's death. With his loss, the vile matriarch Magatha Grimtotem launched a murderous attack, attempting to seize control of Thunder Bluff for herself. However, Cairn's brave son, Bane Bloodhoof, successfully repelled the attack and banished the surviving Grimtotem to the farthest reaches of the land. Under Bane's hopeful leadership, the Tauren people now seek to heal their wounds and restore the balance between the various factions of the Horde. To this end, a new generation of Tauren Sunwalkers has arisen to lead their people into the light of a new dawn and the promise of rebirth. As a proud tribesman of Mulgore, you must uphold the honor of your people and safeguard the lands of your ancestors.
Alright. This is how the normal screen will look. Now, this setup, the way that they have everything placed, well, this will look different. The time would be down here, and this would display the name of where you are, which is Camp Neroch. I don't actually know if this is in the default game, but what I suggest to everybody who's just starting World of Warcraft is to not change any of this. Alright, you'll have two little buttons here that'll let you scroll through different things, scroll through different bars and all that. Playing as long as I have and knowing what I like, what I don't like, and how to improve it, for my optimum gameplay for the way that I do things, I already have a an add-on in my game. For all the add-ons that I use for this episode, I'll put them in the description. Maybe I'll put them in future descriptions of the World of Warcraft podcast type deal, in case anybody wants to play along with what I have. And I encourage you to play along and level with me as we go through this. So, where is my... presets. Blizzard interface. Very good, but not exactly... Oh no, it's profiles, isn't it? There we go, profiles. Basic template. This is my basic template, not the... I named it basic template. Okay, so, we're a Tauren. We are a very proud race, and we're really quite... We're very good at fighting because we're big bull people, but we're also, herbalists. We're shamans. We're, just down-to-earth kind of guys. As a shaman, first thing you get is Lightning Bolt. It's a good damage ability. It's going to be your main ability if you go Elemental Shaman. You can get professions. First and second profession means certain professions you learn, you can only have two of. There's a big group of them. Things like tailoring, not archaeology. Archaeology is right below it, right here. This is archaeology, fishing, cooking, first aid. Those you can always get. Everybody can have those. First and second professions, you can choose from a pool. The pool is universal. Anybody can have any profession within the pool. But it would be things like tailoring, herbalism, alchemy. There we go, that's the word I was looking for before. But alchemy, engineering, mining, blacksmithing, and so on, so on, so on. There's a lot of them. Anyway, here is a shrine that we have. It's a very lovely shrine.
What brings you here?
What you see here is the work of the coil boar, young one. Year after year, they have encroached on our village. The great cataclysm finally drove them from their dens to spread like locusts across the land. And now you see the result. My own mother, dead from their savagery. Today you are of age. Today you will take up your weapon and fight for the tribe and avenge the Great Mother. Follow the path to the east and find my son, Gruul. He will lead you in our strike against the Quillbore. Now, something to note here. Cataclysm was... No, there's a lady crying over there somewhere. There she is. Nope, that's not her. Whatever.
Be careful.
There was an expansion called Cataclysm, where a very large dragon came through. His name was Deathwing. Even if you haven't played World of Warcraft, if you play other video games and you're big into, looking into the community and memes and whatever else there is, you'll probably know Deathwing, or at least the meme that he sprouted from his raid. I think it was his raid. It was one of the Blackrock raids, I think. While he was part of the story, but not big. Where it was, don't stand in the fire. People would stand in the fire and die. Anyway, the big cataclysm. Deathwing came and kind of torched everything. In fact, if we bring this up, let's go full screen with it, so it's nicer. If we bring it up, we go over to the Eastern Kingdoms. We go to not Dunmorrow. We go to the Elwyn Forest. Oh, can I not see it? New Tinkertown. Oh, I must be... Let's see, Westfall, Elwyn Forest. Oh, I can't... There we go, Stormwind. They used to have much more land. It was, plentiful. They actually had a barracks that got completely demolished. I'm moving around with the mouse, but I can't actually remember where it was. If you look up old maps of Stormwind, it'll be there. Friend. But Deathwing came through and completely obliterated the barracks. Alright, what does he want? Behold Crookshak. The very presence of the bristleback is a blight. Nothing is left in their wake but corpses and barren land. Camp Narach could become what we see here in a few days, unless we stand and fight. This will be your rite of strength, the first ceremony of a Tauren brave. Go into the heart of the Thorn Snarl and kill Bristleback Quillbore, then return to me.
Be careful.
Now, one of the big points about World of Warcraft that people poke fun at near constantly, including me, is that every expansion that drops, every new area you go to level in, you're always going to be doing the same exact thing. You're going to be gathering, you're going to be killing, you're going to be doing things of that nature. You're basically going to be causing mass genocide across the world. Oh, one thing new people might want to do, which I should do right now, is, oop, not in there. Go hit escape, go into interface, go to controls, and you'll see this in the controls area. Click it, and then click OK. Auto loot, what it'll do is, if you notice a little box came up, what it'll do is it will, instead of you having to click every single item and look at it, it will just pick it all up for you, which is really helpful when you start getting higher loot and a lot more stuff. But yeah, you'll go around causing mass genocide wherever you go. It's kind of amusing. Alright, so all we gotta do right now is kill 6 of these bristleback invaders. One point about, he said a Tauren brave. That means like they're champions, they're knights, you know, they're that kind of guy. They call them braves. So here's a fledgling brave. Oops, a little bit of lag there. Alright, yeah, this is unfortunately the harsh reality of World of Warcraft. It is a very repetitive game. It's not really meant to be played, they didn't really intend you to play it completely alone. They expected you to have a team of people, you know, a bunch of friends together that you can talk and chat with while you're playing. It is a raid and dungeon crawling kind of a D&D game. So they don't really expect you to play alone. I play alone a lot. The way that I don't just get completely overwhelmed with the monotony of the same quest over and over is, first of all, what I do instead normally is, you know, I'll finish what I'm saying, then I'll go through all this stuff. The way that I normally deal with the monotony is I actually do dungeons, which is this little button here, the group finder, in order to level and do all my stuff. Later on in the game, you'll be doing a lot of dungeons. You can quest through the entirety of the game and never touch a dungeon, but I like them. That, by the way, is another player. He's a priest, it looks like. No, he's a druid. He's a druid. He's just got the, those are some heirlooms. Heirlooms are... Those are not heirlooms. Those are heirlooms. There we go. These are the heirlooms that I can wear as an elemental shaman. They used to not give you a specialization until you reach level 10. Now they give you what they deem the base archetype of your class. It used to be you could have one main specialization and one secondary, and you could switch between them. Not in combat, but pretty much whenever you felt it, so long as you weren't in combat. Now, instead, what they have is you can switch between them freely, free of anything, but you can only switch if you have special items. Let me shift in my chair here. If you have special items, or you, consumables, by the way, or you are in a larger town like Orgrimmar or Stormwind, like I showed. Orgrimmar is right over here. This is Orgrimmar. This is the... It's supposed to be the main camp of the Horde, just like the Stormwind is supposed to be the main camp of the Alliance. I actually don't like those two cities very much. I like Undercity, which is another Horde one, and Ironforge, which is the Alliance Dwarven fortress. But you fought well, Crookshak. We may yet be saved. Now, a lot of quests will give you different armors. They'll give you money. They'll give you pretty much every quest will give you experience, even if it's, you know, you're level 110 and you're doing a repeatable quest. It still has an experience value a lot of times, for arbitrary reasons. Like if you're 109 but you're in the area and, you know, you're doing the quest and you don't want to do any other quest, you know, you'll still level up. So there we go. We have hit level 2. Despite their size, the bristleback greatly outnumber us. A pack ambush can easily overwhelm even the largest Tauren. Many new initiates have taken up arms to defend our home. Some have given their lives, but others have been captured alive. Please find their cages and free them. The battle should keep the Quelbor distracted.
Go in peace.
So basically, you'll notice that there are things called quest lines throughout all of it. And I know to a lot of the older guys, you know, who might find this because they're looking up just fun World of Warcraft videos. This is a lot of repetitive stuff that I'm saying. It's like, yes, we know this, we know that. But you know, if anybody comes in and they're not quite sure what's going on, how to play this game, you know, it'll be nice for me to say all that stuff. But this is a quest line, the beginning quest line. Yay, I saved you. And so now I've run around and do this. First we found the guy, then we, you know, helped with the battle to spark it up, to, you know, liven it up a little bit. Now we're walking around and we are, while the fire of our, you know, boar slaying is still in in tides, and I don't know. There's a word there I need. We can save people. So there we go. We've saved 4 people just now. Sweet. And now we go back. It's a lot of back and forth. I don't know if we'll see one, but there is mounting. You know, you can ride different things like horses and, you know, more fun mounts, like dragons and stuff. There's one specifically for low levels because you can only start riding at level 20.
Well met.
Thanks for saving our people. Thanks to you, our people are free to fight for our home. There we go. We've struck a great blow against the Quillboar here. I will stay and hold the line, but you need to move on. Seek Adana Thunderhorn. She has taken a few braves to the southwest to root out the rest of the bristleback.
Be careful.
Cool. Oh, by the way, yes, if you
Greetings,
continuously
well
click on a
met.
guy...
What brings you here? Peace, friend. Hail. I have business to attend to. I have no time for playing. Have you nothing better to do? You are testing my patience. Greetings.
There we go. Yeah, they'll get increasingly mad at you and basically tell you to go away. But there is a mount for low levels, people under level 20 who can't get mounting yet, the mounting skill yet, which is, you learn it like a profession, but again, it's one of the professions that everybody can learn, no matter if you already have the first and second profession slots filled. So if it shows up, I'll point it out. If we don't see it, we don't see it. It's fine. I have it.
You wish to speak?
I don't want to use it. More trials lie ahead, Crookshak. I hope you're prepared. Well, we're all prepared. We got a shield. We got a little mace there. You know, big iron ball on the end of a stick. We're good. Yeah, she's just a trainer. That's all this is saying. It is my role to test our young initiates in the ways of the hunt, and that hasn't changed. Today, the Quillboar are our prey. Yay! Rite of courage. One of the first lessons you should learn, Crookshak, is to never underestimate your prey. While we're distracted by the attack on Camp Narosh, more of the bristleback swept in unnoticed and stole a cache of our rifles. You can see them to the south now, filling the air with lead. This is your rite of courage, brave. This is your rite of courage. Brave the hail of gunfire, hunt the bristleback gun thieves, and bring back our rifles. So, you know, go kill some bristleback again, but take their guns this time, which will just be loot that they drop. Some of them over there, oh, my render distance isn't quite far enough. Some of them over there have guns, some of them don't. Thorn collars are the other things over there. Oof, hiccups. Alright, knowing the ways of your prey is another aspect of the hunt. In the lands they come from, Quillboar live in the shade and protection of huge thorned roots. When they move, their shamans seed and grow new roots for them to live in. These thorns mar the land and choke out other life, turning the earth around them barren. Go to the south and stop these thorn collars before they have a chance to continue, Crookshak. So go and kill the guys that are going hooly boodly at the at the land. As this series develops, it'll be less of me reading the quests. You know, if people want me to read the quests still and they like that, then I'll continue reading them. But the quests will get much more involved. It'll be much less of a back and forth. You'll get more quests all at once. You'll get, I should say will get, not you'll, unless you're following along, then you will too. Get more quests together, and they'll be farther apart, so you have to run way over there and way over here and do all that. You'll notice that they're actually yellow. Yellow means neutral. which means they won't actually attack if I don't attack them. Red means they will. If it's green, that doesn't mean they'll never attack you. What that means is they're lower level than you. I mean, it also means that they won't attack you. Like you'll see over there, the other Braves, they're green to us. That means that they won't attack us pretty much ever, and we can't attack them. But there's also, the colors also correlate to how high your level is comparatively to theirs. So yellow is, you know, pretty on par with you. You know, they're level 3, I'm level 2, so we're pretty close together. Red means hostile, and if it's red and this little number is a skull, that means they're much higher level than you. You probably shouldn't fight them. If it's green and yet they still attack you, that means you're a much higher level and you really shouldn't have much of a problem with them unless they have some sort of weird ability that allows them to, like, instant kill you, percent of your health, or whatever. And lastly, there is gray, which means that they really are a much lower level than you. You're level 100 and they're level 5. I mean, there's no way you can die to it. There's no reason you should really be fighting it either. And as your level grows, when you go to the lower level areas, there's all the guns we need, so we don't need to kill these ones anymore. As your level grows, if you go back to lower level areas to, I don't know, get things like get different herbs for crafting, get ores just to be in the area because you like it, whatever, their area of effect, their patrolling area lessens for you. It's almost as if they realize that you're a much higher level than them, and they really don't want to fight that. So that's that. How many more do we need? We need 4 more of these. See, even now the quests are getting a little bit longer as we go on. We got our next ability, Flame Shock, which is an instant. This is a channeled ability. You know, well, not a channeled, but a cast ability, which means you need to sit there, you need to, you know, charge up for the 2 seconds, and then it goes. This, I click, well, now he's got it. There is, you'll see it happen down here. Let me go fight something else and show you. Obviously, certain abilities have cooldowns as well, but here we go. You'll see I hit this, and even this one seems to go on some sort of cooldown. And wait, no, that one went on cooldown as well. It's because of there's a thing called a universal cooldown, and pretty much everything you use, from items to skills, will trigger it. You see this one not doing that, but we'll get to that in a minute. At the moment, it's not very useful to us, and I don't want to overwhelm anybody new with a lot of different information, although I'm doing pretty good at that right now. But it's universal cooldown. So I click the button, everything goes on cooldown. I can't just spam everything out and call it good. So even though it says instant, it's not instant. It will instantly go on to your target, but you can't then instantly use another instant, if that makes sense. Alright, those are those 2 quests. We can run back and talk to her. She'll just say the same thing every time up here, unless something changes about the surrounding area. You do quests or whatever. Rite of Courage. How many have you brought to me, Initiate? Well, we brought 7, just like you asked. Well done, Crookshak. Respect your prey and the danger it carries, but never fear it. In fear, you become prey yourself. Cool. I should probably be putting on the stuff that they're giving me. Anyway. With the corruptors slain, the Earth Mother will mend her own wounds in due time. The roots are not meant to thrive here, and will wither. Balance will return. Yeah, basically what we were trying to stop is those over there from being grown. there's a whole mess of them in the middle of the area around here. That's not in this questing area, but in this, I guess you could call it like a country. I believe it would be, yeah, the Southern Barrens. It's in here somewhere. There's just a mess of them. You can actually walk on top of the thorns in the air. It's pretty cool.
Peace, friend.
Alright, the battle boars. There are more threats to be dealt with here. The bristleback are taming wild boars to be used against us. These armored battle boars have been abused beyond hope of recovery. They must be put down, for our safety and their peace. Go to the pens to the south and slay them, Crookshak. Return to me afterwards. Kill 10 of the boars. Okay. Some things in this might be a little bit profane as well. It might be it can get your emotions going pretty well, this game. Feed of evil. We must do more than simply hunt boars here. The eyesore that has been left upon the land must be purged. To give them a wild thirst for blood, the battle boars are force-fed raw flesh. Take this torch and use it to burn the troughs of meat and gore to cinders. You know, as I said, there are a few things that'll get you. These are some of the more tame things. There are little let me zoom out. There are little Easter eggs, I guess you'd call them, for you to find throughout the game. Like one of them, let's go into my pet journal. One of them is, where is he? Anybody recognize this? Here, let me summon him. And there he is. Come on, move around. Yeah, you get him from a quest, actually, an Easter egg quest, that you basically play, Plants vs. Zombies for. Which is, they got little things like that, which are cutesy and fun, and, like, there's, where is it? This is something different entirely. Molten Corgi, no. Hang on. There we go. Oop, wrong guy. Like this, the pug, which I've named Ozzy. Not after the singer, singer-songwriter. But this, you get the perky pug for helping what people call pugs in dungeons. So like low-level guys, new players in random dungeons. Which, it's cute, it's fun. They understand that, the older guys might have a little bit of issue doing things like that because, new guys don't really know everything and they don't really know what's going on, and, they might end up wiping the 5-man dungeon because they might end up getting everybody killed because they don't know a certain mechanic or whatever, and so, helping them out gets you a little pet. So use the thing, lights it on fire. There is actually a way to do this quicker. Now, back when I did this area, everything you see from the armored boars to the bristlebacks over there, all of them were hostile, which made this a lot harder. And I'm not actually certain how I feel about them making everything around here neutral. But see, you can make it a little bit easier by burning the boars, which is, it's cruel, but it's also kind of funny. You gotta take everything with a little bit of a humor to it, because this game can get a little bit dark if you're really watching it. Which is good for the servers that are listed as RP, which are role-playing servers, which means you can really get into a story and really, hunker down and create a character. I don't play on an RP server, but I do enjoy creating characters, you know, personas, backgrounds, histories, you know, that kind of a thing. It is fun. You'll notice that you don't hear nearly as much clicking, though, as, say, like when I was playing Smite. That's because I've actually got a gaming mouse, which I've bound to all of this. And in fact, if I move this ability, you'll see these here. This is my Razer TARDIS. I've set it up in such a way where I can just put abilities there, hit the buttons, and they'll do it. And then this is all my mouse. Also, this little area here is where? Okay, don't let me trail off. I just completely. All right, I guess we are using that mount. Hang on, just because I'm an idiot. Hang on. Scroll through all the thousands of mounts. Scroll through all the thousands of mounts. There we go. Mount that. This is the chauffeur you get for having a bunch of heirlooms. Yeah. Drive me, orc. It's not very fast, but it's faster than walking. Oops. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. Over there is another quest. I gotta get one more board. If you attack while mounted, it will demount you. That way you can't do like hit and runs on other players. Over there you see him kicking, and there's a big black waft of color. He's a monk, and that's called, that ability he's using is Blackout Kick. It's pretty good. Every class, for the most part, uses a different medium for casting. So a lot of them use mana. You know, this is my mana bar. So this costs nothing, actually. Wait, what? Huh. I didn't know that those cost nothing. Well, let's see. I like it when Sunny sings. Oh, wrong button. Again. I don't really use these. Let's see. There we go. 8 mana. See, this costs 8 mana. These apparently don't cost mana anymore. Since Legion dropped, since the new expansion came out, a lot of this has been squished. You know, so abilities have turned into, like 3 or 4 abilities turned into one ability with this thing now. See, now there's a level 2 Flame Shock. And if you're elemental, you have a thing called Maelstrom, apparently. I don't know what Maelstrom is. I don't have a shaman on Garona, which is the server I normally play on. I think I said that. Ancestral Spirit is kind of a passive resurrection for yourself. Ghost Wolf will be using a lot, which is kind of why I decided shaman. Alright. Good work, Crookshak. Those beasts could have been a greater threat than the Quillbore themselves, if we had not taken action now. Yay! We leveled again. You've not only wiped the boar pens clean, but put a stop to a horrible desecration. Well done. Yay! She likes us. Alright, here's what we're gonna go do. Well, here's what I started to walk over to do, and shouldn't have done yet. Chief Squealer Thornmantle leads these Quillbore. It was he that set upon Great Mother Hawkwind and took her life, leading the attack on Camp Naruch. He fled and hid afterwards, but we found him. He lurks to the west within his foul den of thorns, fending off any braves we send in after him. You've proven yourself as as a brave defender of our people, Crookshak. Kill Thornmantle and bring his mane back to Chief Hawkwind in honor of our Great Mother.
Farewell.
As I said, this thing gets a little bit dark. A lot of the big characters like this, they will actually tell you to go kill them and bring back their head, which is an item that will show up in your inventory. A little bit gruesome. but after a while you don't really think about it. Like, I haven't read these quests in years, but there is Thornmantle. Let's just kill his guards here. We can, it's actually not all that much of a threat to just do this, pull them both, and then go in here and pull him. It's, none of this is particularly difficult, I suppose you'd say. So you can just focus down both of them at the same time as well. There, now he's dead, and then I turn to him. And he's put me on top of a torch, which is nice, I suppose. And there we go. See, you can actually pull a lot more. If I were wearing heirlooms, this would be even more, you know, trivial. There we go. There's his main. Loot is calculated in an area around you. So instead of it just being, oh, hi dude. Instead of it just being, you know, you bend down, you loot one guy, you move on. You bend down, you loot one guy, you move on. And, you know, in an area around you, it's I bend down, I loot these 50 people, and then I move on. So yeah. It's quite interesting. Unlike the, just another note about the series, since this is the first episode, of probably many, there is, these aren't going to be edited at all. It's all one take, and I'm just going to upload it, because it's not going to be like the Smite one, because this is more of a relaxing thing. You just sit. I don't expect you to watch all of this. I expect you to put it like on another screen or in the background, and you just listen to whatever the heck I have to say during the day. These might be posted every other day, maybe every 3 days. I want to do it every day, but that's a bit much, since I am just starting out. It is.
How?
It's still hard to get used to, because I am having a full conversation to a shoe in front of me holding my microphone. I'm talking to myself in a room. It's a little bit weird to think about, but, you know, whatever. Have you completed your trials, young one? Yes, we have. We have the Mane of Thornmantle. He holds it in his, he holds the mane over his head. So, yes, kind of a, you know, think, a lot of this doesn't have animations, or at least not until you complete the quest, so it's a little bit finicky if you're reading it. Earth Mother, into your arms, we give you one of your own, you know, Hawkwind, Mother, Great Mother, all of us all. They keep mentioning the Great Mother. They mean the Earth. They mean the Earth. That was probably fatally obvious, but they mean the Earth. The chief of the Bristleback is slain. Great Mother Hawkwind's spirit has been avenged. This is Great Mother Hawkwind's funeral, by the way. It's still a very pretty shrine, though, to her. There we go. The camp is safe and the quill board driven off. All thanks to you, young one. You have my personal thanks for what you have done for my mother, my son, and for all of us. It is now time to put Great Mother Hawkwind to rest. Lay the final offering at her feet, Crookshak, and we will say our goodbyes.
Walk with the Earth Mother.
Walk with the Earth Mother. There we go. Earth Mother, into your arms. She is now Onya Hawkwind, my mother, and Great Mother to us all, the wisest of our tribe. May her spirit fly to you swiftly. May the winds carry her gently, and the grass whisper her name. Watch over her as she has watched over us. Let her look down on us with joy, through the eternal gaze of Anshi and Musha, until we too join her in death. For we are all born of you, and shall all return to you. If, in case you're like me, you, well, actually, I only read slowly. If I read out loud, I can read these pretty well, but in case you read a little bit slowly, occasionally I miss a few things as well. I'll be reading it down here, not actually what they say. I'll try to keep the camera on them, though. Alright, let me place this offering right here. There we go. Okay.
Well met.
There's balance in all things. As Great Mother Hawkwind's spirit takes its final journey, you will begin your first. Basically, he's telling you the tutorial's over now. You can go do whatever the heck you want to do. You don't actually have to run this area as a Tauren, or as any race, by the way. You can, in fact, just leave. You can just go do another area, or you can go do something else entirely. For example, Pandarans, the neutral guys that we saw in the beginning that I moused over and tanked the frame rate, because their area is just so pretty. They have their own starting island that they get to like level 13 on, and because of the fact that they're neutral, so they have to have their own area set out, because if somebody else came in, anybody, Horde or Alliance, would be hostile. You know, and so they didn't want all that interaction going on. So there's actually a guy back in Missa Pandaria when the Pandarans came out. He stayed on that island until level 90. There were no more quests for him after level 13-ish, or anything. But what he did was he took up mining and herbalism, which you could train yourself in on the island. And so he ran around collecting copper ore and the herbs, and he leveled up to 90 that way. It took him way too long. I wouldn't do it. Anyway, today you have undertaken a rite of passage far more difficult than we ask of most of our youths. Be proud. Now it is time for you to continue your journey, continue on your journey. To the west, beyond the burial ground, you will find a path winding up the mesa. Follow it to the top and speak to Daimi Windsor. Walk with the earth, mother friend. You will always be welcome here.
We shall meet again.
Alright, one thing that a lot of people miss about the game, because they don't read those quests like that, they just see the objective and go do it. This right here, this is your home. And unless you're like me and occasionally you come back, you will never see this again. And that's one of the big parts about World of Warcraft, that when you realize it, and you realize how long some of your characters have been away, and some of the stories that some of the classes have to go through, it's sad. You know, there's your home, and you're never going to see it again. There's a class called Death Knight, and Death Knights are risen warriors from either Alliance or Horde. You know, they're not specific, but normally if you're looking for Horde, you're looking in Kalimdor. If you're looking for Alliance, you're looking in the Eastern Kingdoms. But up in Northrend, which is the frozen tundra of the world, this is new for Legion, by the way, but this right here, this area, is completely hostile, and the Scourge, you know, undead kind of guys, came down and started invading everybody. And so we sent warriors up, and a lot of them died. And what ended up happening was the Lich King, the controller of the Scourge, at the time it was Arthas, who's a pretty big character, Arthas Manathril, resurrected them, brainwashed them, and used them as his own. One of my favorite characters that I have is a Tauren Death Knight, and the story that I crafted around her purely for that is heart-wrenching. But it just goes to show that, you know, a game like this, it is not graphically intensive. I mean, I have all the settings down, but it's not graphically intensive. It's not the prettiest game in the world. But a video game doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be this high-end budget game. It doesn't have to be something large like that. It can just be a place where you can sit, you can be with your friends, and you can do whatever it is you really want to do. Frame rate's gonna hold for this, hopefully. This is where we just were. Right over there. And this is all we have to do. Just in this area. Here, let me just... This is our land as a Tauren. This is where we grow. This is where we live. This is where we come from. Now, grant you, on the other islands, there are other Tauren tribes that live there. But you remember, for, like I was just saying with the, with my Tauren Death Knight, she started here in her story. She started in that little village, just like everybody else. You know, everybody else, player-wise. And she... Would you stop that? and she went over to Northrend to fight for her people. And at some point I'll do the Death Knight starting area, just to show you what this game can turn into. But this is World of Warcraft. This is what people come for. We come to craft our own story and see exactly the sights. Because everything you see here that trails off into the distance at the highest distance you can see. Now keep in mind that the first quest is this road here. It goes, and this seemed like a large area. And all we did was went here, here, did some stuff over here, over to there, and then this is where we got the guns. There's where we fought the boars. And right down in that little cavern is where we fought Thornmantle. Now, keep that in mind. This is our zone. This is where we just were. This is Mulgore. This is Kalimdor. Here's Mulgore. And this is the world. And with that, I say, welcome to the World of Warcraft.